Okay, let's get started.
Just raise your glasses high. This one's for
Turtle time.
Well, Dwayne Johnson is making a splash, and it's not just because Hey Hey fell into the ocean again. That's right, new photos have emerged of The Rock portraying Maui in the live-action version of Moana, and it has people saying, "You're welcome," to keep showing us more scenes of this because we like it so much. People have also noted that he sounds exactly like the original Maui. July 10th can't come soon enough, which is the date Moana comes back to theaters. Amy, tell me please, will your Wayfinder be guiding you to join Disney on one more adventure this summer?
Wow, that wig it's giving me life.
Me too. That's what people have been saying in the comments. Giving me life. That's Maui for sure. There's definitely an approximation of Maui to be seen here. The comments are great. Good. Very good.
I saw a tweet that said it looks like a T-Mobile commercial.
I saw that too. There was a few detractors. I don't know what it's like. Why am I like, oh, I'll find the detractors? But in the mountains and waves of good, positive response, there were a couple stinkers being like, this sucks. What the hell is wrong?
Disney's greed sickens me.
This looks desaturated of color, people said. Why does this look like gray slop? I found 3 of those. Maui's hair looks horrible. 3 or 4, but then mostly just people say, I want to take another round of Moana in the theaters.
The Rock needs to watch his ass. He's back-to-back flop energy.
Really? Okay. All right. So, okay. Or if we're in that spirit of things, yeah. Smashing Machine. People didn't
Actually, in
appreciate...
retrospect, I mean, I thought that movie was very forgettable, but not like bad. But almost in comparison to, since like Marty Supreme ultimately ended up getting zilch at the Oscars anyway, and like Timmy, for some reason, the internet decided they're sick of him, and so it didn't even end up being the triumph in comparison technically, although it did well. It did better than Smashing Machine monetarily, but I started to feel a little, for some reason, protective of Dwayne Johnson, where I was like, he did his best. He tried. He was vulnerable in that role.
Great. I'm so glad you got that glimmer of empathy towards Dwayne Johnson. I've got nothing against him. I mean, 90%, 75 to 80% of his movies I don't really like for the most part, but I don't.
Jungle Cruise.
I don't know.
San Andreas.
I'm probably going to be watching. I saw San Andreas in theaters. Oh, my God. It kind of took me out because I was like, if someone looked like this and they were a firefighter, everyone would be talking about it the entire movie. Hey, you're really buff. You're huge. Like, this is a big guy working with us. Like, he almost couldn't play a normal person in San Andreas. You know what I mean? They couldn't even look at the earthquake. They'd be like, holy shit, who is this guy on our team that's fighting with us? Like this.
Not to bring up Survivor again, but who's that big ass man? Like every challenge is just like a moot to him because they're like, you have to spend time getting water and buckets and sand out of the boat. And he's just like, I'll pick it up.
Yeah, they go, you got to lift a boat. He goes, say no more, and he lifts it over his head like crazy.
He just throws it.
Yeah, Mike White. Meanwhile, Mike White and Christian are like, what the hell's going on? Why couldn't we have had this guy on our team, Goliath, over there? It's crazy. How far are you into Survivor 50?
I'm caught up, and now I don't know if I want to continue because of what happened. I was like, well, you guys fucked up the reason I watch.
Spoilers now abound. So skip forward. I didn't even want to broach it on Patreon when we talked about it, but I cannot believe that horrible decision that Christian, spoilers, Christian made. Horrible.
Think of the ratings.
Think of the ratings. That's what Megan said. She's like, who is not thinking of the ratings here? and also, I couldn't believe it. I just never thought that would happen. I mean, I don't even want to barely say it, but I was also like, that was the huge drop for me. That's why if you have this, no spoilers, and I'm really treading lightly, but I do think you should watch 37. I think
Yeah.
it is, just for a
I might
more
switch to
rounded.
that.
You should, and then you'll maybe have a newfound appreciation of Christian, and I think her name is Angelica. Is that
Angelica.
his?
Yeah, that's
Angelica,
what
yeah.
my friends all said the same thing when I
Yeah.
had this conversation with them. So maybe I'll do that. But yeah, I was bummed out because I was like, I was along for this ride. Do I really need to keep tuning in to see what the Billie Eilish idol bears? I don't know if I care. I don't even quite understand what it does.
I agree with you completely. Once they started saying Billy just wrote me a letter, it's from Billie Eilish. She's doing this Billie Eilish sponsored boomerang idol. I was like, what the hell is this? I mean, don't get me started. Luke, what was it? Zach Brown band episode?
Oh,
I was like,
God.
how much Zach? What a disgraceful episode for. Okay, spoilers. Mike White to leave, where it's 30 minutes of it was like, this is the best prize in all of Survivor history. Zach Brown band. It's like, what if you didn't like him? It's the worst. That'd be the worst reward challenge.
Although
him
surf
making
and
you
turf
fish.
and wine. I was like, if I knew that there was wine at the end of the challenge, I would pick the boat up over my head and spin it around.
Of course. And I know that completely as well. Me too. I'd be spinning that boat around to get Pinot Grigio. But for people who don't give a shit about Zach Brown eating his fish, it's like, I've been eating fish nonstop, Zach Brown. And then he played that horrible song, no offense. But it was like, why?
They gave him the cool guy edit where they were like, he's like Aquaman. Look at him spearfishing under the sea. Like, he's so cool. And I was like, I don't think that's that cool. Like, he has really expensive equipment. Like, I don't think it's that cool.
It was like, look at this cool guy. And he's like, yeah, this is really hard. And then he just shoots a fucking rocket in a shark's eye or whatever. I was like, this sucks. I don't like this guy at all. I don't know him. So how is this the best reward in Survivor history if some people didn't give a shit? And then that one person who loves Zach Brown the most.
I know, she was devastated.
And didn't he make a song called "I Love Fried Chicken" and I love the way the jeans fit on my jeans fit on me or something? And they didn't have fried chicken as the reward. Anybody would have rather had that than tarpon.
I have another question. When they last week or whenever it was 2 weeks ago, they won chickens and the chickens were in the cage. Do they have to cut the chickens' heads off themselves?
Great question.
Because I'd be like, I don't want it.
Great question. That's a Survivor philosophical question. So in the early seasons, they decide whether they want to grab a big boulder and crush the skull of the chicken to eat it, or if they want to just get its coveted eggs and just have it lay eggs.
Eggs all day.
Yeah, but some people like that guy Goliath or whatever would be like, let me at it. I got to eat this thing. And they get really
foolish. That's one meal, whereas eggs aplenty for weeks to come.
That's the philosophical debate on Survivor for a lot of the seasons. Some people are licking their lips going, I want to kill that chicken so bad. They're like outside of the pen. I don't even know if we've dealt with the chickens yet, but there is going to come a time where they have to decide whether one guy gets to eat it at night while everyone's not watching, or if they will just use it for its wonderful
I have
eggs.
been wondering, has a vegetarian ever been on? Like, what are they they can't do it because they would literally starve?
I think that there was a time where a pig was running around camp unauthorized, and they were like, we got to kill it, stab it in its head. We got to kill it. We want to eat it. And I believe that there were some complaints from vegetarians being like, I think I'm like making up Survivor shit in my head, but I think there was a debate of it. And then they were like, I want to let this pig free so it doesn't get killed by us. So,
but it seems like they only, besides coconut, they just have to eat fish. And then I saw this season, there was a debate on the fans said no rice for you. Yeah. So if you don't have rice and you don't eat fish, what would you eat?
Yeah, you would be having a lot of coconut
skin,
a lot of water. I mean, the earlier seasons, so it's become so much more of like more of a reality show now than it was in the earlier days. In the earlier days, they were really like, I think that's a bug on the ground. Let me eat it. Like, they were getting so hungry, and it's a little more polished and a little more, they've got all the details sort of worked out, and they don't focus on those issues as much. But I would say that just how you're talking about Survivor, if you have any of this tingle of being like, what do they do in this situation and stuff like that, you need the 5 like golden seasons that everybody would give you and go back, because it is 10 times better than what you're witnessing now in the earlier seasons, and you would get a thrill seeing some of that shit.
No,
So
I'm
if you ever
feeling
have
the
the time.
tingle. I think I already said this when we talked about it before, but like having a off-brand, not off-brand, but different brand, since we talk about Bravo and I have to really pay attention and take notes and talk about it, I want something that is off the docket that we'll still
Yeah.
probably talk about here and there, but that I can just purely enjoy, which Traders was for a while, even though I don't really, technically that's not really my thing, but at least I can just like totally veg out and watch it, and I feel like Survivor would fill that hole.
Oh,
I also,
veg
I mean,
out.
I think we are going to talk about it at some point, but I just want to tell you that I watched the first 2 episodes of Ladies of London, and I think you're in for a treat. That's all I'll say.
All right. All right. Well, we're debating how to handle this at Turtle Time headquarters because I'm going to watch it too. I've heard such great things, but there's a lot of clamoring for it. So I want to watch it, and maybe we figure out how we sort of get that content in here in a big way to talk about it, because I feel like it's bringing a lot of joy to people.
Yeah, it feels like my initial just impression is that seemingly they actually are connected women. Like there's a Daily Mail headline that they can splash for each of them. They either are like royal adjacent or like soccer player adjacent, or like it seems like they're actually, you know, people of interest. You know, in a on a sliding scale of, you know, from like actual royalty to like maybe like trashy like socialite or whatever. But I'm like, I feel like it's impossible in the US to get that anymore. I feel like Beverly Hills is the last one that's like people are willing to participate even if they have some clout, because for some reason it has a little prestige to it. Like it's not trashy necessarily to be on, like Rachel Zoe or Jennifer Tilly or something. You're not like, oh God, they're a housewife. Whereas for some reason, like New York can't figure it out. Like, where are the cool New York ladies? Why won't they participate? Which maybe I'll be proven wrong and they found cool divas to participate on the new season. But this, I was like, oh, like people that are actually like live in a manor are on this dumbass show. Like, this is great.
That is so cool. I think it's just because more people live in manors per capita in London, you know, but I agree with you completely. I think that sounds so enticing to me. The idea that you could get that sort of, I won't even know, like from pauper to royal where they fall on that line or whatever. But I'm so excited by the idea of that. Is it post the Queen dying?
Yes.
Oh wow! I would have loved if they would have. That would have been. That would have probably been a huge episode, I would think, on Ladies of London, you know, because now they're having to deal with the King Charles era, you know.
True. Yeah. If we actually talk about it, we'll go through, but they have certain titles, some of them, and there's like one of them is like whatever the wife of a marquis is. Like they go through all the different, you know, like we dealt with the Countess in New York, but there's a million weird levels that you've never even heard of, or I haven't. And also next to their names on their lower third, it has the flag of where they're from, because some of them are American. There's like a Swedish one. And I'm like, I love that it's like every time they talk, you're like, okay, she's American. Like she's a Brit. Like, I'm like, I actually appreciate that little nod. So yeah, I think you're going to enjoy it. I think it will be fun to talk about because it's very like, they do a lot of translations. Like whenever there's a price, it'll have it in pounds and then it'll cross it out and put it in dollars. Or, you know, like they're always trying to educate you to be like, if you don't understand, like here's how for you to understand the British way.
I love that. And I hope that I want to learn new terms like that we can start using in our lives, you know, stuff that I've never heard before. I remember, was the clip of someone going back to Paddington. Was that Ladies of London? Do you remember when they were saying
maybe.
Oh my God. Yeah. So I can't wait for that kind of stuff. And let's talk about it soon.
Yeah.
I
think there's only been 4, so we're not that far behind.
I can catch up on that easy. Well, great. Okay. Well, a lot of the stuff on the Turtle Time news docket got addressed. Dwayne Johnson, Survivor 50, Ladies of London. I want to say this next thing. I think it is a big conversation starter.
Yeah.
Possibly. Right before we started recording, Margaret Josephs appeared on my TikTok. I said, what the hell is Margaret doing? And she goes, guess what? I am officially relinquishing myself from Real Housewives of New Jersey. We've been in talks since December trying to make something work, but now I'm free going into the wind. I'm not going to be beholden to that franchise anymore. It was a little kind of like, it wasn't kind of unceremonious a little bit. She was like, hey, I'm sitting here on a chair. I'm not going to come back to New Jersey, and I'm also going to be on your TV screen soon because I'm filming something as we speak, which I think is that Amazon Prime show that I was talking about last week, where it was just that sort of that mix of random reality stars.
Yeah.
So I feel like Margaret, in my opinion, Margaret was tired of being in Bravo limbo and said, I'm finally ready to just go off and do what Dorinda did. Maybe Dorinda, like her leaving Bravo in that way, is sort of like, oh shit, like if they could do that to that type of Bravo celebrity, what the hell am I kind of waiting in purgatory for? I'm also just going to see what House of Villains and Masked Singer and all this kind of random
House of Villains
shit.
is calling.
House of Villains is calling, and she probably has a little bit of hubris because she's on the Amazon Prime show too.
Yeah.
And she's sick of waiting.
Yeah. I will say, when you sent me this, I was like, low key, I like forgot she was still on. Like, it feels like it's been 400 years. When's the last time you remember watching Margaret Josephs on TV? It feels like 5 years ago.
I'm exactly like you, where I can't really, it does feel like she's far from my mind. And kind of almost like, whoa, oh yeah, I forgot. I haven't thought about Margaret in a really long time because of how long they've taken with New Jersey.
Am I wrong? Is the last episode the like weird restaurant one? Like that, I swear to God, feels like 3 years ago.
Yeah, Dolores was covered in wine and blood, and the table had glass shattering all over it. And it was like, how far we've fallen. This was a horrible dinner. And then we got to it, remember? And it was just like Rachel Fuda.
She's like in the bathroom the whole time, and they're just like, it was very strange.
But what I want to say though is that I don't really know what is going on. You know, obviously Teresa and Melissa Gorga buried the damn hatchet, and that was supposed to be the biggest problem or issue that they were waiting for that feud to settle, and we got beyond that. But in terms of quality of New Jersey, of like how much it suffered from those sort of issues, I was like, was New Jersey really that much worse than OC? Like, not really. I mean, in my opinion, it's like I had a good time recapping New Jersey on that final season. So I don't really know why some franchises, even like Miami, are just like, oh, God, we got to scrap this shit. It's not working. Whereas some franchises, maybe it's all ratings or quite possibly the behind the scenes shit is just so nasty that we don't even know what it's like and what they're dealing with in that capacity. But I don't know. I feel less about Margaret Josephs in terms of losing like a Bravo celebrity talent. Like Dorinda was obviously, I think, a huge loss, even though I think she'll still do NBC Universal stuff. Margaret Josephs, she's like top 30 favorite, I think.
Right. Yeah, I think she was a fun addition to the, I don't know if you'd call it like not a reboot, but like a revamp. She's sort of like not an OG, but she came in and she was fun. The like, your husband's in the pool, iconic. I think her mom is iconic. The weird duo they are. Her weird ass house. I like her husband. For some reason, I don't know. Like, obviously, I love New Jersey. Like, I love old New Jersey. For some reason, I don't quite carry the need for it to continue as is, the way that like I mourn old New York. I'm kind of like, if you reboot New Jersey, I'm kind of like, fine. Like, I don't I don't know that we need to like try for eternity to make Teresa and Melissa work. Like, I don't think I care anymore. It's been too long. I'm like, I'm over it.
I understand that out of sight, out of mind a little bit with them.
Yeah. And I feel that Rhode Island might take its place for me. Like, I'm like, we have new Italian broads. It seems like it's what New Jersey used to be from like starting fresh. And so I'm like, let's see what Rhode Island brings, because maybe that'll fill my cup for, what we're looking for.
Yeah, maybe our cup will runneth over with that. I'm so talent minded
Yeah.
that I do feel like that Teresa and Joe, Gorga and Melissa, like, I don't know, deserve some sort of like celebration. But you're right. At a certain point, all of these franchises have to move on. Like, they cannot be just centered around 2 or 3 people, because it's just not sustainable. But I also just feel bad that Teresa, Melissa, Joe, etc. are so responsible for the 13 or however many seasons we got, and I feel bad that they're in this position. But also, if it's just not workable, I think you understand why Bravo has to make decisions like this. I did like that Margaret became the main antagonist for Teresa. I feel like Margaret was the one person that Teresa could not stand, even worse than Melissa Gorga. I mean, she literally thought she was Satan. It was because Margaret came in way later and got the fans, sort of riled up and excited again. And then she was a foil to Teresa, and Teresa fucking hated her guts.
Yeah.
So there was something about that, feud that was inspiring to me, or compelling. Yes, totally. All that kind of shit. But you're right. I'm less. I feel like this is less of a desecration than like RHONJ was
Right.
for me, because I kind of do feel like, imagine how horrible it is behind the scenes getting like Teresa and Melissa to film together, and Margaret
Right.
Josephs. My philosophy has always been, if Bravo's not treating you well and they're not honoring you with a contract, go out. You're a coveted person, talent, and you should
Right.
go nuts and make money and have fun. So goodbye to Margaret Josephs
Let
from
your
Bravo.
pigtails fly.
Go nuts, Margaret. Have fun, and yeah, I agree with you actually about New Jersey. Whatever they end up doing, I will watch it and talk about it. And if it's much worse than the Teresa and Melissa stuff, then I'll say, oh yeah, that's a little worse. But I'm open to whatever they want to do with that franchise, more so than other franchises.
Yeah, I think it's because both with, say, RHONJ and Vanderpump Rules, even though they were struggling, obviously something needed to be done. It was sort of nipped in the bud, possibly prematurely, just because of bad behavior and stuff like that. So it felt like we were like, wait, we hadn't figured it out. There was still juice in the tank. Like, what are we doing? Whereas New Jersey's been like a slow, painful, years long, trying to figure it out. Seasons where they like, someone's out, someone's in, and you're like, like, just fucking end it, like, change it then. Whereas RHONJ, we were like, wait, we weren't done.
Yeah.
You
You're exactly right. So yeah, I mean, maybe this Margaret being off the board makes it easier for them to consider the future of New Jersey, because that now they don't have to worry about if Margaret has a place in it. So hopefully they'll get it figured out, and maybe, like you said, Rhode Island will be wonderful, and we'll be like, holy shit, this is amazing.
When you mentioned Miami, I saw we were gonna say that in the comments, Andy was like, "Don't worry, it will be back," but like, that can mean anything. Like, that could be in like 7 years.
Well, Lisa Hochstein also said, guess what? She goes, don't worry about me or us. We're going to be back really soon. There's just some important factors being considered behind the scenes. And then I read a Reality Blurb article. I'm kind of a huge Reality Blurb head. I'm like, Reality Blurb? I like, that's the one I love. Reality Blurb said that the Todd Nepola lawsuit is, they were like, we don't want to work with Todd ever again. And now that he's back with Alexia full time, they don't know how to handle something, because they like, we would never work with someone who did this to us before.
Mm-hmm.
So we have to move on from Alexia if she's still in a relationship with Todd. And obviously, I think if Alexia wants to be with Todd, she needs to take that into consideration, her relationship with someone, over being on the show. But also, I don't blame Bravo at all for wanting to move past her and not work with Todd ever again in their lives. He fucking sued them for $100 million or whatever for defamation. So that could be what's going on. But Lisa kind of really she calmed me down, because I think I just have to have Lisa on Miami in the future going forward. So I hope that that's true. And maybe we'll believe Andy that it's going to come back soon.
Yeah, it's always just floating in the background, waiting to return. Maybe just on Peacock, who knows? It's always, for some reason, the redheaded stepchild, which, if you like it, watch it, tell your friends, get the ratings up.
Who's your favorite Miami cast member?
Ever?
Yeah.
Hmm. Well, I can't say Mama Elsa. She's not a mojito holder, but that would be my answer.
Yeah, of course.
Lisa's very entertaining.
Wow.
Adriana's insane, in a good way.
Yeah.
So probably one of them.
Wow, that's great. 2 for 3 on mine too. Lisa, Adriana, and then Larsa Pippen.
I
Up
did
there.
see a great Queens of Bravo has been posting hella memes to honor them, and she posted a Larsa one that said, "If my grandfather cheated on my grandma, I would unfollow my grandpa."
Really? That's what and it was about that whole thing?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh my God. That's
Marcus
about
Jordan thing.
Oh, of course. Oh my God. Well, that's wonderful. Great. Well, I'm glad we got to talk about Miami a little bit. Lisa, Adriana, and then lastly, this news, because we got to end this segment of news. What the hell's been going on? We didn't have any news. What are we talking about? Happy 20 years to Real Housewives of Orange County, like 3 days ago. The first premiere, 2006, of Orange County. I've watched that episode in the last couple of years. It was wild what this franchise started as to what it has become now.
Bravo did a season 1 marathon of, I think it was OC. They showed like all the way through, I think Beverly Hills and Atlanta. And I was like, damn, I wish I could just veg here all day and watch these. But I'm always reminded about, it does have certain, especially OC, because it was so old, like dark corners, like Gina's terrible family, her like evil kids and evil husband. I was like, this is like fucked up shit that's going on in this house.
Oh, the worst kids we've ever seen in our lives. I was like, what is going on with those Keo kids? They were like shoving dead squirrels in people's mailboxes and beating up people with bats and stuff. I was like, what the fuck?
Yeah, they were
is
like
going...
violent and mean to their mom.
Horrible. A lot of the OC kids were bad. I mean, really, it has the worst track record for horrible children. I know a lot of people in the OC. I go there all the time, but it's like, what the hell is going on over there? Those rotten little kids. Oh, they're so bad.
Rotten.
Oh, and then the stinker of the century when Vicky goes to visit her wonderful son and he treats her absolute shit. Oh my God. Spoiled rotten, those little kids. But
now he runs her insurance empire. He's lucky.
Yeah, I know. She forgave him. That was so sweet of Vicky. Oh, we love Vicky. I'm so glad that she's back.
Did you see she's a I don't know what you call it, like a resident of Mexico? She got her ID card. She finally is certified resident of Puerto Vallarta.
Oh my God. I'm so proud of you, Vicky. Everything is going good for Vicky. Oh my God. I saw her on that scooter in Vegas in Fremont or whatever that's called, circling around the Golden Nugget. I'm like, oh my God. I can't wait to watch this season of OC. Oh, I want to ask you this. Remember when Heather Dubrow said diamonds are a girl's best friend and I'm showered with diamonds and I can't wait. The future is clear as a diamond. And we were like, I know what that means. And then now it's like, what the fuck were you talking about with those?
Was she just teasing us?
Was she trying to get clamoring? Fanfare? Was she trying to make us go, you deserve the diamond on Beverly Hills? She's just on OC. What was she doing?
Yeah. I also saw at some point, like a month or so ago, her and one other OC housewife, I forget which one, posed with this woman that I get on TikTok all the time. I think her name is Jen Curley, and she's just like a mom who like she eats a lot on camera and like cooks and shops, and she always just goes to like Din Tai Fung and then goes and buys like a Van Cleef bracelet. Like she's a rich Orange County woman that I find her videos quite enjoyable. Just her life seems charmed. And Heather posted a video with her, and now in the comments they're always like, are you joining OC? Are you joining OC? And I'm like, whoa, that would be crazy if some chick that I just see on TikTok all the time naturally ended up actually being on the cast. Like I'd be like, I know exactly who that is, and honestly she would, I think, be good.
I mean that seems very likely to me now. You know, it's a new sort of way to find talent on TikTok. So if she likes going to Din Tai Fung and being in the OC and Heather's friends with her, that seems very natural. You just got to worry about, the digital footprint that all these people have left. Before, you didn't have to worry about that. Nobody was looking at Margaret Josephs' Twitter from whenever the hell she started. Like, now people know, like on RHONJ, like one of those cast members was like trolling people in the comments. Like, they have messages of them being a online troll for 2 or 3 years, like kind of weird behavior. So, but not everybody's like that. Not everybody does weird stuff online.
Right.
Maybe Jen Curley is just having the time of her life, having fun.
Yeah, she mostly just like eats pho or like In-N-Out and goes shopping.
Wow. All right. That's great. I can't wait to see OC. I'm going to be watching that because Vicky is back and everybody's having fun. But now you and I, Amy, I'm sorry to get out of the news. That was pretty jam-packed. But we have to talk about this week's episode of Summer House, which is called Sleeping on It? Sleeping in it?
Sleeping on it.
Sleeping on it. Sleeping on it. Sleeping on it. Like Kyle had to sleep on what he said?
I guess. It's not that great. Not that clear.
All right, let's talk ahead of this. Now it's really... So Summer House, Andy said, he goes, brace yourselves. Kyle's in for a fucking storm, right? On Radio Andy.
Yeah, he goes, this is the worst episode for Kyle in 10 seasons. And I'm a little afraid we're recording this before the world has seen it. So I'm not even sure what we're in store for as far as like audience response. But I'm like, if I were Kyle right now, I'd be in a storm shelter. I'd be like, no internet, lock the gates.
Yeah, San Andreas online. It's going to create a chasm. Wait, you're right. You're right, people. And you know what? People are going to have permission to leave some comments about this, probably. Because
not going to be good.
Because they're like, you said something bad and really mean to your wife. So that kind of makes me feel condoned to do something very similar. You're right. It's going to be bad. And what we were talking about is that in this episode, which we don't know the online reaction yet, but unfortunately, Andy told us all, he gave us a warning. Kyle calls Amanda I'm going to say it because it's going to come up a lot. He says, he calls her kind of under his breath, fucking dumbass bitch. And we've seen horrible stuff from Kyle screaming and being mean to Amanda, but this for some reason feels like the worst, most egregious display of treating your wife horribly.
Yeah. Yeah. And I will say the way he was obviously, he also before that will go, moment by moment, but he says, fuck you to her in front of all their friends. Then later he sort of just mutters like, you're a fucking dumbass bitch. And it's so like almost like he's not even in a rage. Like it's not even like he was so mad that you're like, holy shit, like he know not what he say. Like it was kind of just like, he's just like, you fucking dumbass bitch. And I'm like, oh God, like this is not the first time she's heard that, I'm sure. Like she even says to Wes at one point, like, this is tame for him, frankly. And I'm like, oh God.
Yeah, there was a really sad moment where Kyle comes in and he's probably fucking drunk and she already knows he's in a rage. And she's like, I'm just getting cleaned up for bed. And I was like, oh my God, like that reaction was so sad to me. Like you have to like de-escalate or like pretend everything is okay so that Kyle doesn't berate you like that. I mean, it's awful behavior. And it really, I enjoyed though seeing West in this episode really sort of make it his mission to talk to Kyle and tell him how fucked up this was, and then really reach out to Amanda and let her know that he's there to support her and stuff. So there was some really interesting cast stuff that happens in the wake of this. And when Andy warned me, or when you let me know that Andy was like, brace yourselves, this is horrible, I was like, Kyle and Amanda again? Like we were on a sort of good, like I felt like it was maybe getting back on track after having 3 or 4 episodes that were horrendous. So then for this to bubble up again was very, very shocking and seemingly out of nowhere. I mean, you mentioned that she was kind of like at the dinner table and stuff, she wasn't really talking to Kyle and she didn't want to shower with him and stuff. But I had no idea that it could lead to something like this, a full-blown rupture again in their relationship.
Yeah. Well, as Wes says at the end, he goes, gifts are bullshit. He goes, it actually probably means that you're horrible. I'm like, okay, gifts not in West's love language. Noted. He does not value gifts.
I know. I can't wait to talk about that. I was like, I love gifts. Oh my God. I love gifts so much. All right. So shocking. And I mean, we got to just say this. I mean, Kyle head's in shambles.
Are there any left? He doesn't have what Craig has. I haven't seen anything like that.
What is it? Like Craig heads?
Yeah, like his army. Like there's no Kyle army. I've never seen it.
There's no Kyle army. I mean, when recapping previous seasons, people were always just like, "What the fuck do you guys see in Kyle? Like he's horrible." And we were like, "Yeah, but what about the times of the Loverboy stuff?" And it's like, and now it's just like there's no excuse. And I even was kind of comparing it with the controversy of like Craig and Austin. Like Austin was calling Sally a bar rat, and I was like, that was bad. But
by the way, shout out to Sally's video where it was like Charleston's #1 bar rat, and it was her scurrying around on the floor, and I was like, that's awesome, actually.
It was
I'm
so
like, that's
funny.
a video we would make.
It was awesome. It was going bum bum ba na 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 ba ba. What's that song?
Yeah, Yakety Sax.
Yakety Sax, and she was going nuts.
She's
doing
like,
rat. Oh, it was amazing. I'm so proud of Sally for reclaiming bar rat. But then
Sally
I wanted to say
+1.
Yes. Oh my God. And then Craig screaming, was horrible. Called Sally a fucking loser, screaming, trying to rip GoPros off the bus. But I feel like, so we've already had a kind of a rough year.
Yeah.
But then now Kyle really, I think, did the worst of all of these, the most egregious. I mean, they're all bad, but something about calling his wife Amanda, who we all love. Talk about Amanda heads versus Kyle heads.
Yeah.
We all love Amanda. And even if you and I in the past have talked about there's wonderful moments from Kyle, we're Amanda heads too.
Yeah.
And so you can't defend this at all. It's fucking terrible. And it makes the separation. I mean, you would almost recommend anyone separate from someone who's treating them like this.
I wonder if her like zealous sharing of their photos so far this season has been leading up to this, where she's like, I'm getting in the goodwill where I can to let people know that we're on good terms. I care about him. I don't want them to eat him alive, but it's going to be harder after this.
Yeah.
Like everyone's probably going to come down on her for some reason because the internet is like so fucked up. They're going to be like, how could you allow, like who knows what people are going to say. But like, I feel like I bet there's like an angle where people are like, it's fucked up that you like share good pictures of him when he's abusive or something. Like once Sierra said that people come after her for like I knew that there was like racial stuff, of course, always, but like that they blamed her for like being made a fool by a white man and stuff. I'm like, God, like there's so many angles that people can be assholes to these people, and it's like such a nightmare. So I'm like, I'm sure Amanda will for some reason catch heat for this, and then Kyle's obliterated, it's over. I was going to say before I watched this episode that I saw a TikTok that I sent to like 5 different people because I thought it was funny, and I kind of agreed that it was like, she goes, hot take, but it was a random, I don't know who she was, but credit to this creator on TikTok. She said, now that Kyle and Amanda are getting divorced, can we just allow for him to remain a Peter Pan? Like now that he's not beholden or betrothed, he doesn't need to get his act together, and we could just let him cook, so to speak, and party. And it's like, now it's less fun because you're like, he's an asshole, he treats her like shit. But like in general, like moving forward on the show, it's like, I don't need him to get his act together.
Yeah.
He can have fun now that his relationship is ruined.
Yeah, because we know that he's not making someone else miserable that we really care about. It's like, who gives a fuck if he's at somebody's house till 5 a.m. drinking Trulies after a DJ
Fun
set?
for me.
It's like, yeah, it's just like, yeah, no. I mean, totally. It's, I guess, I mean, like, does anyone still blame? I guess people do about Shep. Like, I'm using Southern Charm now as sort of my barometer for what are considered Peter Pans. But yeah, I don't think anybody would give a shit now that he's not hurting Amanda anymore.
Right.
They'll just be like, yeah, that's Kyle. He wants to party until he's 60 years old and doesn't give a shit about anything else.
He looks 30.
Yeah. He looks 30. Oh, they say 40. I've been hearing there's whispers going around that 40 is the new 30. And so if he's 43, they say 43 is the new 33. You can basically just take 10 years off almost anybody who's getting in
I
their
agree.
40s. So, Kyle, what the hell were you doing? What the we thought it was bad the first couple episodes when you were
I know.
being like a little stinker. I don't even remember what the hell he was doing in the early episodes, but this you can't treat Amanda like this. I was so proud of West. I was proud
Yeah.
of Sierra too. Sierra has no fucking tolerance for Kyle anymore. I was so proud of her for saying what the reality of the
She's
situation
been
was.
done.
She's done. She's like, I like Kyle fine, but no one gets to treat my best friend like this, no matter who you are. So it really was a rallying cry for all the other cast members.
Yeah. It also, I'm just going to say last thing, because it picks up at the dinner from last week. Kyle did a really nice post about this conversation on race on Instagram, like a heartfelt like paragraph. And I'm like, for stuff like that, he's always really great. And like, he's always really cool with Sierra. Like, it's almost like for everyone else, he's like a great ally and like a good person. But for some reason in his marriage, he just cannot fucking hold it together.
Yeah. I mean, when I was thinking of like, I did think about that. I also do think though that there is a montage of Kyle screaming at everyone and treating almost everyone around him like shit.
But they all like adore him for the most part,
Yeah,
outside of like the relationship stuff. Like Sierra, like remember when he like cried when she cried at the reunion, and like I feel like everyone really values him as a friend. But yeah, when he gets into a fit, it's not good for anyone.
No, totally. I mean, we kind of know that. I mean, at least internally, some cast members have like forgiven him. They had like they're not writing off Kyle. Like he's in all of the press. We've seen them interact. Summer House cast members interact with him. Like no one was like he is dead to me. And you and I especially have noted times where Kyle was being great and wonderful. Oh my God, I just read Carl's book, and he like talks so much about how Kyle really tried to get him help during the time when Carl was suffering the most. He dedicates the whole acknowledgments to Amanda and Kyle like 3 times. Like
that's cute.
I'm able to hold 2 disparate thoughts in my head at once, and I know why they value Kyle, but he's gotten to the place where he is so disrespectful to Amanda that it's intolerable. And I'm so glad. It makes me not sad for 1 second that this marriage has decided to end.
By the way, I also started Carl's book, so we will have to set aside time because I do need to talk about that Bahamas incident.
Oh,
I was blown away.
Let's just say, well, yeah, I don't want to. I guess I don't want to spoil one of the biggest, most shocking revelations. But my God, well, let's just say, okay. Well, so how far have you gotten in? Because I don't want to spoil.
I like
anything.
just got to him starting Summer House. Like,
well,
he's just begun it, and
all right. Well, let's talk about it. But for me, oh my God, my empathy meter. I was like, I already loved Carl, but oh my God, the shit that he's had to deal with. Oh, it's so horrible. And you already know this, it's not spoiling on it, but his drinking and drug abuse was so much worse than I ever even knew or imagined. The fact that he was going through all of that, I can't even believe it. It makes me it makes me like hope that I never said one bad word about Carl in my life. Like, it is so sad, like so tragic, this story.
Yeah, and like predates the show.
Oh yeah. So always remember to have empathy for people. Maybe we need to learn that this week. But we're going to talk about why we have a lack of empathy, because there's no excuse for the mindset that Kyle gets in at the very start of this episode. I was so shocked. Everyone is partying. They go, let's leave this dinner and let's party. Cut to rolling around on the floor, shaking Amazon boxes to guess what's inside of it, cardboard cutouts, shaking them, dancing. And then everyone's like, okay, I don't want to listen to deep music anymore. Let's just go outside naturally. And then they give this poor me edit to Kyle where he's wearing a king's crown and he's going, oh, I'm playing What's Going On by Third Eye Blind or the Non-Blondes. Who's it?
Four non-blondes.
Four Non-Blondes. I'm playing What's Going On, and they're not listening. It's like, okay, that's a trigger, I guess. I would be bummed out for 1 second if I was drunk as hell, but it didn't mean anything. It didn't mean anything, and it immediately, like, this is where a drunken mindset takes in. It immediately takes him to this place where he's like, Amanda fucking hates me. She leaves me in the lurch. She doesn't support my DJ career. She sucks. She loves everyone but me, and it's a fully created world in his head that leads him to have to go outside.
I don't think it's not valid to react the way that he is, but I don't think he's wrong. Like, she does hate him. Like, obviously.
Of course. Well,
she does like her friends more than him. That's true.
Yeah, right, of course. Yeah, I got to keep that perspective in mind. Yes, they've had some ups and downs, mostly downs this season, and there is such an excuse for why Amanda looks at Kyle with disdain after how he's treated her for years, especially some of the cheating allegations, which I think truly no one ever gets over. Yeah. I think people, Brittany, like I'm thinking of Brittany and Jax.
Katie.
I think
they're the trifecta that I keep thinking about.
Yeah, like people say, I work so hard to forgive you, but I don't think you ever get over it. I'm sorry to people who have been cheated on or who have cheated on their significant others, but it sits
cheaters.
there. Hi, cheaters. It sits there forever. It's horrible, and it's
also like, I think that there's like, probably maybe there's a version where, if it was like a one-off and it was like something that you guys worked through or whatever, but like if it's a pattern, then there's just a general level of disrespect and like mistrust that is hard to shake, you know?
Yeah. I still feel though that Kyle just read too much into Amanda going off to hang out with people. Like, what was she supposed to do? Sit in there alone and just listen to his music and point at him and say, great transition, Kyle. Like, I know she dislikes him actively for things that he's done, but also Kyle was drunk and he got in his feelings. This happens to everyone. If you're in a bad mental state at a certain point when you drink enough, it goes bad for most people, unless you black out or barf or go to bed first. But for him, it made him think about all the times that Amanda has treated him in his mind poorly. So then he continues to go outside with them. He looks lame as hell. No offense. He looks fucking lame. Hey, I was playing What's Going On out here. You guys didn't finish the song. Here comes the portable speaker that I'm going to still DJ. And Sierra goes, I've had enough, Kyle. You know what I mean?
They're all like, time for bed, I guess. It's kind of sad. They're like, yeah, we got a big day tomorrow. Never mind. Let's go to bed now that you're here.
Yeah. Yes, but yeah. It was like, but I was like, I've seen people do this. It's like, I've had people that they can't let go of the DJ, the DJ work, and they're spiraling and they want to still do it. But at a certain point, the vibe changed. Kyle was not aware of it because he was too drunk. He looks kind of lame. And then he goes to Amanda and he goes, he's like so fucking drunk.
Yeah,
so, by the way,
to support me.
Which, in Amanda's mind, I just am imagining her being like, I went outside, I'm having a talk with my friends. Kyle comes in wearing a King's helmet, and he's DJing that shitty song that I've heard 100 times.
They also make it so much sadder because they can't play whatever music he's actually playing. So when he's alone in the room, it's silence, as if he's just standing there. And then when he's outside, it's probably like the music is just like do 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 do. Like, you can't tell what he's actually trying to play, so it seems so much worse.
Yeah, it's pathetic to be like, I want to play this non-copywritten DJ music for you all, and then he goes, you weren't supportive of me, and then he goes, fuck you, as he walks in, and West and Sierra and I think Ben are all right there, and they're just like,
agog.
Damn. Kyle just said fuck you to his wife right in front of us. Like, what? And you're just like, it's Amanda. She's like right here. She's just being fun. We were talking about angry sex or whatever. Like, the party spirit has gotten to the point where we're just like chatting, and then your drunk wreck of a husband who's just playing this shitty fucking song says fuck you right to your face. And then Kyle goes inside and he's still playing that song on his phone, listening to it. It's like, what the hell song were you playing, Kyle? What was wrong? Was it a 3-parter? Some Band on the Run? Hans Zimmer? You got to listen to every single piece of this song. And then Wes was like, oh my God, that was horrible. Sierra comforts Amanda and she's like, it's okay, guys. It's okay. I just deal with this stuff now. It's like, it's so sad. She's numb, like she was talking about earlier.
She's like, let's just make his birthday tomorrow a good day. There's no point. She says in her confessional, like, I know that it's wrong the way he talks to me. I fully acknowledge it, but there's no reason for me to talk to him about it here in the moment because nothing's going to get solved. It's going to be a whole thing. Like, I'd rather just move on. And so then the guys go in, Ben tries to talk to Kyle and he's like, you said, fuck you, mate. Like, what the hell? And he's like, she hasn't said 5 words to me all night. And he's like, well, what did you say to her? Like, what the hell is going on? And he's sort of just like, she fucking hates my guts. He says it a million times this night. He's like, she hates me. She hates me. I don't know why you guys don't see that she hates me. And Wes checks in on Amanda and he's like, that's the first time I've seen him just totally unprovoked go off like that, because there wasn't even like a fight. It was just kind of out of nowhere and he was shocked. And she's crying. She says that was tame for him. I've been dealing with this for 10 years. And she says something that I thought was so sad. She's like, I thought, when I got with him that he was the best I could ever do. Like, basically, like, that's why I married him. And I'm just like, again, her, Brittany, and Katie begging these men to put a ring on it, to sign up for absolute hell. I'm like, I hope that the millions of women that have been watching Bravo for 10 years will learn it's not worth it. I'm not saying I'm not going to be anti-marriage entirely. Personally, for me, I'm not into it, but there are plenty of happy marriages. But I'm just saying, how much quicker would these women have gotten out of that situation if they weren't legally married? Like, she would have fucked off years ago, probably, if they weren't married. Like, they keep showing the montage of the bad moments with Kyle. It goes 2 years ago, and she's like, I fucking hate him. I'm sick of him. Like, Sierra's been telling them to break up forever. I'm like, you haven't even been married that long. Like, why did you do this? I mean, it's sad. It's like self-esteem, but I'm like, I hope that the vision of what's on the other side of getting married has been like jumbled for people from watching these people that thought for some reason that getting married would solve whatever problems existed before they got married. Because I'm like, well, now you're just legally trapped with the person with the same problems that you had before, and they're actually going to get worse.
Yeah, and it makes it harder in those like, scenarios.
You're locked in.
Yeah, I understand what you mean. Yeah, and I thought it was, like I already said, I was so happy that West, he's sometimes, and he's talked about it, been like conflict avoidant or whatever. So I was so happy that he took this upon himself to go and talk to Amanda in the bathroom. Yeah. And he was so sweet. Everything he was saying was great. And she's really crying. Like, I could not imagine how disheartening it would be for West. Yeah. Coming into this house 2 years ago or whatever it was, 3 years ago, and then knowing that this relationship has been kind of shitty. And then now to have seen firsthand what Amanda has to deal with fuck you, you're a fucking dumbass bitch. And then to see her cry as she talks about it, that's like, I mean, game over. Like, that friend can no longer be supportive of this marriage or relationship. It's just too horrible. And I was glad that he decided to go follow her. And then he does another great thing. Kyle's drunk as hell, and he comes in stumbling. He takes off his crown, and Wes says, "You need to tell Amanda you're sorry." Like, she's upset. He doesn't say what she said or anything, but he's just like, "You need to say you're sorry." It's like, which I was proud of him for telling Kyle that. I felt like maybe we wouldn't get that moment. Kyle's like justifying it. Says that Amanda gave him "fuck you" eyes, and that's why he said "fuck you." And Wes said, "No, she didn't." Yeah, she probably did, because he was being fucking annoying. Like, she probably did glare at him like, "What are you doing? You're embarrassing."
But
Yeah.
like that doesn't mean you get to say fuck you. He was like in his mind by the end when he's talking about it, he's like, I was saying fuck you back. And he was like, she didn't say it. And he was like, but she meant it with her eyes. Like he's like in a delusion where like they had words spoken between them that didn't exist. But yeah, it's like he ultimately ends up apologizing to her in the bathroom. He's like, sorry I said fuck you, but like you don't make an effort with me. And like, and she's like, what to you is an effort? And he's like, maybe just talking to me at all or whatever, like spend time with me. And she's like, whatever, like I can't with you right now. And this is where he goes, you're a fucking dumbass bitch. And she leaves the room. She's like, yeah, Kyle, I'm a dumbass bitch. She goes out to West, and Ben is like, yep, he called me a dumbass bitch. This is going great. And West is so concerned. He's talking to Ben. He's like, shit. He's like, Ben, go check on her. So then he's checking on her. Ben says he's never seen this side of Kyle. West goes and checks in with Kyle again. And he's like, she spent more time with you than me in the last 6 months. And it's like, well, you said you're never home. Like, what is she supposed to do? And this is where he's mumbling. He's like, she hates me. She hates me. And Amanda gets into bed. She's crying. So West, like, she's in the bed. West and Kyle are in the bathroom. He's like, oh, fine, I'll fucking sleep in a different bed. I don't fucking care. And he's like, whatever. And West is like, Amanda, like, I love you. Let me know. Text me if you need anything. And Kyle's just like muttering around the house, like, she hates me. She hates me.
Yeah.
And I'm like, it's like, if your relationship is so bad that your response to her, because you feel so judged and like shitty being around her, is that your response is to talk to her that way, then you have to like extricate yourself from the situation and be like, I've become a monster under these circumstances. Our shit is so broken that I'm becoming a beast and I have to step away, like, instead of just being like, it's her fault. It's like, okay, well, whatever's going on is like creating a fucking monster. So like you have to go away. Like you both need to like take 10 paces away from each other. It's not happening. It's not working, and it's never gonna come together.
Yeah, totally. It was also interesting how this was all captured too. It felt like the real premise of Summer House worked out here by having this all captured, just basically all on their cameras. And then when Kyle mutters that she's a dumbass bitch, they you can see that like producers are in that theater room or whatever trying to like capture them as best they can on the cameras. I think the entire thing had no crew, actually. It was all just being filmed on the bedroom cameras and everything.
Bathroom is like private, so like it would be like West would step into the doorway, and that was the only time you could really see what was going on in there. And I think at one point they're in the closet, which has a camera, but yeah, they really had to splice it together. But I was thinking that I love when you see the little wall cameras zigzag, and you're like, they're just like typing in the main frame. They're like, all right, we got it over here, put that in.
I wasn't sure whether it was like motion activated or not, but then Kyle was behind glass, so you couldn't even see him, but you could see that the camera was trying to get a better angle so that they could hear what he was saying. But so they captured this moment, what Andy Cohen considers Kyle's worst moment in 10 years of Summer House. There's no excuse for it. West and Ben hear it firsthand when Amanda comes out being like, Kyle, I am a dumbass, a bitch. So now there's no excuse for them pretending that this has gone any other way. They know this has happened, and soon in the morning when everybody wakes up, everyone will know this happened. I think the only person that doesn't know that he called Amanda a dumbass bitch is Kyle, because he says in his confessional, he goes, I'm sorry I cursed. There's no excuse for the F word or whatever, but I don't think at that point he knew that he had been told verbatim that he had called her a dumbass bitch, because only Amanda, West and Ben know, but I don't think that they let Kyle know that at this point. So he's kind of only apologizing for one thing that he thinks was sort of bad, but he doesn't know, I think by the time the confessionals are going, that he actually said dumbass bitch to Amanda. And he doesn't get to account for it in this episode.
I think that the only other comparable, like, worst male behavior is probably Schwartz, Like,
Yeah.
even though I think like Jackson Sandoval did like horrendous things, I think Schwartz, as far as like abusive language, is the only comparable one. And for some reason, he gets away with it. But
You're right. Schwartz, season 8, telling Katie how disgusted he was by her and that he doesn't have sex with her anymore. That was such a repulsive moment. This does remind me of that. I almost, yeah, I've never seen anything like it. The next morning, Kyle wakes up and he goes, there's only so much I can deal with. I've been getting a cold shoulder for years. And
I got a little more going on.
Amanda doesn't know I've got a little more going on, and I'm like, it's kind of laughable at this point. I feel like people already got to the point with Kyle where there's excuses for his behavior. People were kind of laughing at us when we'd be like, well, think about Loverboy. I really got to the point where when Ben was going, Loverboy is, he's in debt. It's like, that has fucking nothing to do with calling your wife a dumbass bitch. Absolutely not. I mean, like, not for 1 second. It was ridiculous to have anyone pull some excuse for this behavior. Like, what the fuck does Loverboy, him being in over his head on Loverboy gives him a pass? He's treated Amanda like shit for a really long time. We just now were privy to a situation where he said horrible, horrible shit, that we can't stand.
Right. The show obviously doesn't also want to totally go down that road because they revealed later that, like, Ben says that he had a scene with Kyle where he explained it, and then Wes says, I talked to him. I went to the Loverboy yesterday, and there was another scene where he re-explains the $4 million loan, which we did learn about at the time, which, like, I get, on the other side of the coin, like, unrelated, that's, like, he's probably, like, I would be having, like, a panic attack, like, every day for eternity if I was on the hook for $4 million. Like, he will be, like, ruined. Like, actually, if like, it's like he's just too stressed. He's running away from his problems. He does not have the capability to hold it all at once, and he's taking it out on Amanda. It fucking sucks. His marriage is crumbling at the same time as his business failing. So he's just like in like the darkest zone. It's like bad times. Like, I was saying to Jimmy where the thing I love about Bravo is that if you watch for long enough, you see people go through like the darkest shit you could possibly imagine, like Erica Jane or like Taylor Armstrong or like Ramona's divorce or like just a million things that are like things that people never thought they would have to get to the other side of. And you're always like, how are they going to do it? Like, it's so bad. And not to give Kyle grace, but like, I'm like, he's probably like, how am I going to get through this period? And obviously he's not handling it well. Kind of like how Erica Jane was like a snarling animal during her trial. But I'm like, it's interesting to watch people go through like really hard life scenarios,
Yeah, but yes, and I agree. And like, but but I feel like I and you, we have like accounted for Kyle's behavior and like rationalized it sometimes, but I'm even having a hard time just being like, what does Loverboy have to do with it? Just because we've seen him sort of be disrespectful to Amanda so many times for years, that I'm even having kind of a hard time being like, wait, Loverboy is doing this to him? It's just not equatable.
It's because he feels like
me.
a failure and she hates him. So he's looking at her like, how dare you make me feel even more like shit? Like, he's taking out all of his insecurity of his whole life out on her. She's like the keeper of the keys, which is why she needs to get the fuck out of there.
I thought it was crazy. I mean, later when Sierra was like, well, whose fault is it that Loverboy is flopping like a fish out in the beverage market? And I was like, damn, Sierra, you did not give a shit what you said about Kyle this season. Like, that was crazy. I don't know. I'm just like, obviously something was wrong for it to get, we acknowledge this, that Kyle, that Amanda became the scapegoat for Kyle's bad behavior when it comes to his career focused demeanor or whatever. Like, it's just like it should have never gotten to this place. And I know a lot of people who could be millions of dollars on the hook. I don't know a lot of people, but I'm saying there's successful people that go through trials like this and they don't fucking berate their wife drunk. And like, it's just doesn't this is coming from a deeper, horrible place, I think, between them. And it's now all of the cast is kind of going to start, Sierra mostly and West are going to just start saying, like, this is just way too bad for both of them, especially for Amanda. We do a little check-in. Mia and Sierra talk about the conversation they had at dinner. Mia says that was so wonderful of you to bring that up. And they talk about how they need to be honest about their sort of like relationships with their cast members. And so bringing up stuff like they talked about at dinner is very important. And then they also talked about how like they thought how they had so much empathy for KJ in that moment too. And Sierra was like, I will die or I will kill for KJ.
Yeah.
Because she loves him so much, which I thought was very sweet.
Yeah. She sees him as like a baby bro. Did we talk about, because I don't think we had watched it yet last week, but Dara was at Watch What Happens with KJ. Like they're fully still dating. So there's your couple that made it for months to come.
Thank God. I get a couple that worked. It's KJ and Dara. I'm so excited. I saw that Lindsay Hubbard actually was kind of being a little silly she was on this show where I guess you eat a bunch of wings. I don't know if you've
it was
ever
like
seen
a
this.
special edition of Hot Ones where they were like all 10 of them were there.
Yeah, you eat wings and you
they
answer
have that
questions.
West Complex connection.
Yeah, and they said, who's the cast member that is most looking for love? And everyone said KJ. And then they said, which cast member is looking most for fame? And Lindsay Hubbard said Dara. Yeah. So that was kind of interesting.
Bailey was like, you said it, not me.
Yeah. That wing show. But, maybe I thought for a second, maybe Dara was doing a lot of press and like maybe she was like, I don't know, maybe quite possibly she was just like wanted to be in a relationship with KJ because it would be good, for notoriety.
Yeah.
But, if they're still in a relationship, maybe they work through all of these issues,
I guess so, yeah.
dating.
He's stressed out in this episode. We'll get to that.
Mm-hmm.
Also, Sierra gets a comment in about the Kyle and Amanda stuff, and she just goes, I keep telling her she cannot have kids with this man. Mia's like, what? Why do you think they're staying together? And she's like, bitch, I do not know. Like, I can't tell you. Which it's because they're married. It's like they have dogs. It's a whole thing. Like, I get it. It's like it takes a lot to extricate yourself from your living situation. Makes sense to me, even though all signs are pointing. She's like, what, 3 months out from her escape? Something like that.
October? Yeah. And this this is August 2nd. So whatever months come in between those two. Yeah, she's pretty close. And yeah, I mean, we've seen from the teaser for the rest of the season that they just discuss it more and more that she needs to separate. Right. So Amanda tells Lindsay Hubbard about the interactions with Kyle, that he was being really, rude and calling her names. And Amanda admits that she hasn't cried in a really long time about Kyle, but that she cried 3 times last night. And then Lindsay Hubbard's kind of just like, she's like, God damn it, Kyle.
Yeah, she doesn't pop off. She, I think, does have loyalty to Kyle, surprisingly, as like a man hater. Usually she doesn't have too much to say about this, which is kind of interesting. And Amanda's like, yeah, whenever I was going through all of my shit, I didn't make him feel like total shit during my depression, and he takes his shit out on me. And she's like, but today is his birthday. We're going to make it great. She keeps saying that over and over again. She's very hell-bent on making this day good for him, which is also sad. Then Lindsay gets her little claws into another plot line. She's talking to KJ in the kitchen. She's like, have you, like, how are you guys doing? Like, have you guys said you like each other, blah, blah, blah. And he's like, oh yeah, like we're doing good. I really like her a lot. And she goes like, wasn't she flirting with Ben recently? And he's like, yeah, but she told me it meant nothing. Like, I'm not worried about it. And she goes, well, then what were they talking about in his room for an hour? And he's like, what? And she goes, oops.
Yeah, she goes, "Oh, I'm sorry you didn't know about this." And oh man, you said this last week and I was like still on the fence about it, but my God, it's getting to be too much. I was tired of Lindsay doing this. Like you didn't hear this firsthand. You have no clue what you're talking about and you're just
Yeah.
bringing up any advancing plot line you can. So I was bummed out that she said that. It really hurt KJ's feelings and it sent him like having a panic attack for 30
He's a fragile
minutes.
boy.
It was just, yeah, it was sad. I like, and I don't think that Lindsay even knows what the hell she's talking about. And when I saw the clip of them talking about Dara going in Ben's bedroom, I had no idea that it was that like that 10-minute time that we saw already in the past. I thought a new instance was going to happen of Dara possibly flirting with Ben. So this
Right.
was a major letdown just in terms of like drama. I was like,
Right.
oh, it's that time we already saw? That's so
Right.
shitty that we have to talk about it now. Like
Because she already told KJ,
yes.
hey, like maybe I was flirty with him, but I've chosen you. Like I'm over him. So like
It
we've
was-
already, it's been determined.
Yeah, and she just had met KJ that same
Right.
day. So
Right.
she wasn't in a relationship with KJ. She could have done whatever the hell she wanted with Ben. I mean, I don't think that she did. So I was actually like, whoa, I'm totally I'm on Dara's side. I don't think she did shit in Ben's room. She left her stuff in there and changed in his room. I was bummed out that there wasn't more to this when we saw the teaser. But KJ's in his head. Like it bums him out. He can't even look at Dara for like the first 30 or 45 minutes until they talk about it. So
Yeah. It's kind of I mean, I think it's cool that he's so honest about his struggles with this stuff, but I'm a little like worried if like he's going to spiral about every single thing that ever happens. I'm like, I don't know that like I can have someone on a show where like there has to be a touch base about their feelings every time they get stressed out, because so far almost every day he's been on the show, like West is doing a check-in, like he's like, I'm feeling really, anxious or whatever. And I'm like a little worried that the show is perhaps too stressful for him, but maybe he'll get used to it. He's very new and maybe he'll get his bearings. And Carl gives him a little pep talk at one point where he's like, whenever you're in a new relationship on the show and they're part of the show, it becomes fodder. He's like, just so you know, Carl's like, take it from me. He's like, I've been through it all. You're going to have to, they're being nice to him, but I think he's sort of like warning him, like, you're going to have to participate in this bullshit. Like it's going to come up,
Yeah. Relationships in the house, everybody starts discussing them. And I sort of get it. I mean, I'm like trying to think like first time cast members, just how daunting this whole thing actually is. Like what to do with the information when an OG tells you that the girl that you're seeing might have actually hooked up with someone that you were worried about. And then he was already nervous about the idea of her coming and him just having to be like sort of, like introduce her to the house as his girlfriend. Like there's just so much like stress. It is like, I couldn't even imagine actually being there. But either way, it was nice that Carl was talking to him about that. Lindsay's back in the kitchen and she goes, guess why I wore zebra print? And everybody goes, I have no clue. No, there's nothing in the world that would make me remember that, Lindsay. That's
kind
not
of a stretch.
Yeah, it's like it's not anything I know. And she goes, because I wore him to fuck with Carl. Because remember, he loves zebras. And this was you were kind of a Lindsay. You had the future of Lindsay Hubbard in your mind already, where I wasn't getting there yet. But I was like, what the hell is this?
Pathetic.
You're purposefully. I didn't go with you all the way last week when you were like, she's kind of toying with Carl and how she's talking to him. But this was just blatant. She's like, I'm wearing. Hey, guess what? I'm fucking with Carl by wearing this. Just kidding. Remember, Carl wants to have sex with zebras. And Sierra's like, yeah, oh yeah, I thought about that a lot 3 seasons ago. Wesley Stripes. And it was like Wesley was like brought in their room to watch them have sex or something. She was like, I did think about Carl possibly being sexually attracted to zebras for a while. Thank you for reminding me, Lindsay. And then, oh my God. And then there's even one more when she goes, hey, gray-haired boy, are you wearing gray hair because everybody loved it so much 2 seasons ago and you got a lot of positive fan comments about it? And he goes, yes, Lindsay, partly it is due to that. I liked when people liked when I had gray hair. And she goes, nailed it.
She's like, I knew it. And I'm like, just like, dear God, woman. Like Carl just like is so nice that he's like, I'll give that one to you, Lindsay. Like, you got me. And she's like, I knew it. And it's like, he was nice to let you have that. Like, he could have been like, no, you freak. Why do you even remember that? Leave me alone, bitch.
Yeah.
You dumbass bitch.
Yeah, you can only say now that Lindsay is having moments with Carl. She does it twice. Zebra Gate and Gray Hair Gate.
It's almost like she's like giving the editors options.
Yes.
Like she's like, hey, I'll give you one here. I'll give you one here. Use whichever ones you want. And they just like put them all in. And they're like, yeah, she keeps doing it.
And maybe the storyline propeller is
Need an alt.
Yeah, it's also it's also like, which storyline do you want me to push forward? I'm doing it a lot. You've seen 3 or 4. I did the Bailey with Carl. Now I'm doing this one about Ben. Like, you could imagine that maybe she's like, I don't know what's going to make it into the final edit. And all of them did. But either way, I have a very tender spot for Carl now, very much so, even more than I already did. And I don't want Lindsay, if she's making fun of him, a part of me is like, is this her being fun with him again? Is this the way back for them? It's like, I get to do a couple of these gray hair jokes on you so we can get to a better place. But I just know that Carl is kind of like probably not liking some of these
No, it's
references.
like stressing him out. I also found so far for his book to be well written. And as far as looking at the cover, I don't see mention of a Carl Radke and so-and-so, but I could be wrong. I didn't look.
I as much as I love it, I do think the ability to write a book like that, there definitely is probably help from someone.
Sure.
Although I think that so much of it is about his firsthand expertise in dealing with addiction after the fact. I just want to say this, because I finished it now. I do think it's the most noble Bravo Celebrity memoir that there could ever be, because the main goal of it is to share his experience and then couple that with advice for people that are struggling, and every single chapter ends with
has like strong intention rather than just being like a gossip book or whatever.
Yeah, it might be the best, like the best idea for writing a memoir is to give that advice to people who are struggling. And I mean, I came away with it being like questioning my relationship with alcohol and stuff too. So it was a wonderful book, and I have no tolerance for we were so on Carl's side during the whole Hubbard Radke fiance dismantling or whatever, but even more so, I have so much affinity for Carl and how he dealt with that. So Lindsay, please give Carl some grace here. What the hell are you doing? But this is grace from Lindsay, I have to say. This is so much better than it could be, in my opinion. So they're going outside to plan for this party. A lot of this party, or a lot of this episode, is the setup for what's to come for Kyle's birthday, and it's a old person themed party, right?
Mostly it's just about like ailing health, like it's like pills and walkers and scooters. But it's funny to watch. Everyone did really great with their costumes, but then the people joining the party, you could tell, didn't really know where to begin or if they even wanted to participate because they didn't want to look gross.
Yeah.
So like girls just showed up with like no costume, whereas if it was like 4th of July or like Carnival, like they would maybe come up with like a sexy version, but with old, it's kind of like all or nothing, like go full old or not.
Yeah. Yes, of course. I would have gone full old, obviously. I felt bad when some people didn't do the theme at all. It's like, come on, if you're going to show up to a beautiful, coveted summer house party, at least do a little fun stuff.
There was some rando that was very bow coded that showed up in like a Tweedledee propeller hat, and I was like, what old person wears that? It was like that and suspenders, and I was like, what the fuck are you talking about? Get out.
I can't even think about Bo when he did that old man stuff on Vanderpump Rules. That I got to be honest with you, it kind of took me back to that horrible.
It reminded,
Jackson Schwartz.
It was like the humor level was revealed for a lot of them, and it's like it's unfortunate. It's like that's not what we really come to them for.
Yeah,
you know,
and Vanderpump Rules much more so. Yeah. That really revealed their improv, their lack of improv skills. Those were the worst characters we'd ever seen ever. So they do a better job than that. And then we got to give Wes the biggest shout out in the world for ultimately when he takes that's how you do it. If you don't want to go full horrible old like Kyle, be Mrs. Doubtfire.
It's
right?
a win.
It's a
Take the
huge
win.
win. Take the win. It's wonderful. Oh my God. Wes just posted a video of him doing a drive-by fruiting, just like Robin Williams in Mrs. Doubtfire. I mean, it's almost to a T. Mrs. Doubtfire.
Well, he's often online compared to Robin Williams. People say that he's looks like him. And so it was a perfect fit.
Really?
Yeah,
Robin Williams.
I've seen it a lot.
Do you think he does?
I can see it. They sort of have like a similar like build. I don't think it's that off base. I don't think I would have come up with it myself, but I've seen a lot of comments saying that, so I'm not surprised that he took that link for this, which was a slam dunk. Okay, so now while they're supposed to be helping get ready for the party, everyone takes this moment to talk shit about Kyle. It's like Jesse and West and Ben, and then Sierra joins. And Jesse's like, he's the only one that's sort of like teetering on how far he wants to go about condemning the marriage. He's like, West came into our room perturbed last night, and the clip shows West coming in. He goes, Kyle's a fucking idiot, man. Like, he's like so sick of it. And West reveals that Kyle's excuse was that Amanda gave him fuck you eyes. And Sierra's like, are you fucking kidding me? Like, she's like, that is not what I need to hear right now. Like, I'm gonna blow. Like, that's the worst thing I've ever heard. And they're like, do you think Kyle even remembers? Like, it's kind of sad that Amanda's just going about this as like a normal day. She said she wants to just play it cool. They show her like putting up the palm tree decoration. She's trying really hard. She's leading the pack on getting this party set up. And Sierra's like, I could never. When I'm pissed, everybody knows. And West and Jesse are like, we are fully aware of that. And this is where Ben is like, but Loverboy. And they bring up the $4 million. He has $2 million left. He thinks that that'll last maybe 6 months. So he's like, really, the clock is ticking on the business. And this is where Sierra's like, I don't give a fuck. Like, that's his fault, not relevant. And I think they should separate. Something feels different this time. They're both at their breaking point. And Jesse's like, oh, he's like, it's really tricky, saying that stuff about your friend, which I agree. Like, you never know if someone's complaining about the relationship, how far to go, because if they stay together, you've already revealed. But Sierra's already said everything. She's been telling Amanda to get rid of him for a long time. So that's not a surprise, but I understand Jesse's point of view of being like, I don't know if I want to go that far. And Sierra's like making a case for them, at least not even legally separating, but just like separating and taking space and like, recalibrating, seeing if they get along better when they have some space. And I'm like, yeah, I don't understand why they don't, at least there's no discussion of, I keep bringing this up, like they need to be in like therapy. So it's almost like they like want it to crumble. Like, I'm like, either like deal with it intensively and try and get on the same page, and if you can't, then it's over. But like, it doesn't, they don't there was I think 1 or 2 seasons ago, they brushed on the idea of therapy, and Amanda said she didn't want to, and it sort of just like didn't happen. Or maybe they went once. I think at the reunion they were like, we went once. And so I'm like, what is this aversion to like actually like getting into the mud about what is going on? Which is why I get a little frustrated in general of like the blame game, because I'm like, neither of y'all are like really trying to figure this out. And so it's kind of frustrating to watch, although the outcome of them separating is the best one, I think. But I'm just like, why isn't there like an organized effort to like get to the bottom of like what is happening?
Yeah, that would have been a good question, for both of them of why they never tried that route before they ended up making this decision. But now that I've seen this, maybe that could have helped. But I was almost even like maybe hopeful for a time when they would have been like, they realized that they loved each other after this separation, and they like worked on each other, and then maybe they found love again. But after this, I'm just like, the chances of you guys being miserable again together are too high now. I think I'm glad that you have a good relationship and with the dogs and with everything, but this is probably permanent and needs to
Yeah.
be, because there's just too much hatred and disrespect there between
Yeah.
them, especially after this week's episode. Then Amanda keeps asking people to help. No one will help. And then Dara joins, and KJ now in his head has what Lindsay said about Ben's bedroom for an hour, which is maybe completely fake. Who knows how long she was in there, but KJ does not know how to deal with this info and having to greet Dara, so he's kind of by the fridge, hanging out by the fridge a lot and doing a bunch of stuff. He doesn't hug Dara as she comes in. She's sort of left to come in the house alone, and because he's reeling from this whole thing, and he kind of just does a bunch of like activities and leaves Dara to go help out with the party. And I was kind of like, wow, what does Dara think is happening? Like, maybe she's thinking like, oh, KJ's doing a lot of scenes with people, but like, what is he doing scenes about? You know what I mean? Like, you maybe she got a tip or a heads up in a way that KJ is like, that there's some big issue that he's, dealing with as she gets to the house.
Right. Yeah. Because, like, meanwhile, then he's outside with his buddies and telling Sierra and Mia that he had a panic attack 30 minutes ago. He's like, they do a whole pep talk about Sierra's, like, he tells them what he's stressed about. And Sierra is like, I have decided it's better to have loved and lost than never to have loved at all. And they keep cutting to West while she's saying that. And, she's like, I'm trying to keep my heart open and not just shut down when, someone breaks your heart. It's hard to do, but it's worth it. And she talks him through, they do like a breathing exercise where she's like, this is what I learned every year when I go to Costa Rica. And they do sort of like a little Zen moment and talk him up. And so it's cute. They like do a 3-way hug and they are like, we are here for you. And he ends up bringing it up to Dara inside. And he's like, I know I'm crazy, but like, I've been stressing out about this. I heard that you were in Ben's room for an hour. And she's like, that literally didn't happen. Like, I had my stuff in his room and I changed. As I said, like, I'm interested in you. I don't feel anything about him. And this is the beginning of what I think will be a simmering feud through probably the reunion, where she goes, I feel like Bailey was doing a sabotage moment. And as we've discussed, I've seen little comments and titters that I don't think they like each other still to this day.
Yeah. I don't think so, especially after that wing thing we saw.
Yeah.
But I just have to give Dara some credit that it wasn't an additional Ben thing like I originally thought.
Right.
If this is what they're going to keep talking about, I kind of totally believe her that. First of all, it doesn't matter what she did with Ben, even if she made out with him. But I think that she was just had a place to change. And I'm mad that Lindsay, not mad. I can't believe that Lindsay did another kind of bad game of telephone, which we already talked about, where she didn't properly give that information to KJ. And it kind of bummed him out for too long. And I don't want to have conflict where it was ill-gotten by a Lindsay Hubbard spreading some rumor that she didn't even know what the fuck she's talking about. So that happens again. Kyle does make a kind of like a bad joke when he's getting his makeup done. I guess him and Sierra are the only people that go full old Kyle, right? Kyle and Sierra.
Right.
But Carl's wearing his green Crocs again, and they go, way to go, Shrek. Where'd you get your green Crocs? And he goes, these are a cry for help. And Kyle goes, my cries for help happen when I'm drunk, and they're much worse than green Crocs. And everybody's like, oh God, it's not anything to joke about. He only thinks he said, fuck you, but it's like, no, that was horrible. You still have not really properly dealt with what you actually did. So that joke landed like a thud from Kyle. But then we go outside. Finally now, old people are running around, right?
Yes.
I mean, Amanda.
Wes is going, hello, dear.
Oh my God. Mrs. Doubtfire, every quote you can imagine from Mrs. Doubtfire is coming out of West's mouth. 1 lump or 2. Oh dear. How's a drive-by fruiting?
Yes.
Oh, are there any others? There's some huge ones, but he's doing a bunch of them. They show him watching Mrs. Doubtfire to get ready. It's blurred out, but you can see clearly Mrs. Mrs. Doubtfire putting on that shaving cream on her face. Do you remember when the landlord or the child expert comes in the house and he has to pull double duty? It's almost like
So
the premise.
stressful.
It's almost the premise of Miss Doubtfire realized in one scene, because you realize it's talent. It's Mr. Ripley-esque.
Yeah.
Do you remember
I
when
told
Ripley?
you it stresses me out.
Really, I love that kind of stuff.
I hate the excuse me, I'll be right back.
Oh,
I'll be right back. I gotta change.
that's my bread.
I'm gonna go to the bathroom. They go, you just went. I hate shit like that.
That's my bread and butter. I just watched Ripley last night as I was going to bed when that Italian detective comes in and he's like, Greenleaf, where's Ripley? And he goes, I'll just be right back. And he makes a bunch of noise in the next room and he goes, hey, I'm back. And he's tousled his hair. I don't know why. I love shit like that. But it doesn't really have much, it doesn't really have much to do with what we're talking about now, because mainly people are wearing old makeup, and everybody did a great job. Who did the worst?
I feel like Jesse was pretty lazy.
Yeah.
He just did like a little bit of the gray hair, but ultimately he, I think, was just wearing his own clothes, but then he would be in the motor scooter, so it did all the work for him. Whoever that random guy was in the Tweedledee hat, flop of the party. And then there were some random girls that were just wearing like gray mullets, which I'm like, at least they wore that. A lot of the girls or the visitors weren't wearing anything at all. But I appreciated Kyle's ear hair.
Mhm.
Sierra, I think, was the clear winner, obviously.
Oh yeah. Oh.
Yeah.
Did we say
Um,
Amanda? Amanda did so great.
Yeah.
She
it was
looked
good.
old.
It was like easy,
Yeah,
just like
I would have done.
the nightgown, slippers, wig.
I would have done that. Wig, curly wig, glasses, shirt, tucked in pants. I mean,
I don't know if I've shared here, but my 5th grade talent show, me and some other girls dressed old and did a dance to Stayin' Alive, and it was very similar vibes.
Really? Wait. Staying Alive, the song that I know from Saturday Night Fever by the Bee Gees. And everyone was old. And you were dancing to it with friends in old age makeup?
Yes.
Old age costumes?
Yep.
Holy fucking shit.
I wore like cat eye glasses, like a straw hat, and like a polka dot dress and like slippers with like socks, or like stockings, and then had like a cane, and we did like a choreographed dance with the canes.
So awesome. I was just like, you're making me blush, because I was like, that is so much better than the costumes I used to put on when I was a kid. I don't even want to get started on the kind of shit that I was doing. So I'm so glad that yours was fun and it was just an old person. I kept being a homeless person for years.
Oh, we've talked about this, like a hobo, bindle hobo.
Total kind of reckless version of a homeless person with a bindle and a bunch of dirt all over my head and stuff. And at a certain point, even my mom was like, Riley, you need to stop. Like you're 13. Like you can't be.
You're 33.
I'll never forget it. I was like, what? I've even said in the scrapbook, I've said, can you take out those 10 years where I was that homeless person with a bindle? It wasn't right. It was kind of weird. But anyway, I'm glad that what you said was what you were. And that was great. And Sierra comes down. She's Karma Brown old. we see Karma Brown from 3 summers ago. And then now she is fully back, but she's old as hell. And she gets that fanfare that we've seen before. Everybody loves it. Huge.
Giant titties. Kyle's like, those are the saggiest titties I've ever seen. They're all going nuts. She knows she ate. I don't know where she got those, if they were custom, how much she spent, but great job. Killing
Spencer's
it as
gifts.
Always. Like $300 giant titties, like silicone, like danglers.
Spencer's Gifts. I remember they sold stuff like that. Don't you remember? Do you remember getting a thrill going into Spencer's Gifts? Did you ever go?
Browsing the posters.
Oh, I would go fucking
It's like the
nuts.
two girls kissing in bed. It'd be like, I don't know, like Austin Powers.
Oh, it was insane. I'm trying to even think of some of the
Black
stuff I
white
saw.
poster.
Oh yeah. Ozzy
Fake
Osbourne.
IDs with like fun celebrities or jokes on them.
Yeah, fart powder. It was like a total gag shop, but with a little bit of an edge.
Yeah. There's also Oz, AHHS. Did you have that?
No.
It was similar,
Oh,
but it was
really?
less. Spencer was more R-rated. Like Spencer's, I was like, am I allowed in here?
That's what I
You know?
used to say. Yeah, yeah. I used to go with my parents, and I would have to say that I was going to the Cinnabon or whatever, and then I would sneak into Spencer's Gifts for a second, because I was just not allowed to go in there. But it blew my mind. I'll never forget aging out of it. Like the last time I went,
You're like, this kind of sucks.
yeah, it was after college, and I was just like, it's not doing it for me anymore.
I've seen it all. You're like, I've seen real shit.
Yeah, I was like, I'm not. Is it? But now it's just Spencer's, right?
Not gifts.
Yeah, you're right. I'm not sure. I haven't checked in a while, but it was kind of crude. But
Crude
then
and
I loved
rude.
when kind of rude. And then when Amanda comes down, everybody does a shot as old people, and Amanda says the joke of the week. I think I'll declare it here unless you have a different one. She goes, cheers to Summer House 53, season 53, everyone.
Yeah.
And they burst out laughing because it's a perfect fourth wall break joke.
Yes.
Season 53 is
Right.
what she says. I was
Yeah,
laughing.
and they're doing shots out of pill bottles, which is a fun touch.
Mm-hmm.
Also, Jesse and West do a check-in about the Kyle and Amanda stuff, which is sort of like the ending thought starter of what's to come. And Jesse decides he goes, kind of crazy that Sierra said that they should split. And he also says, so weird that Amanda is acting like nothing happened. And West is not budging on this. He's like, he kind of wants to be like, I feel like him and Sierra need to talk because they'll go
Yeah.
balls to the wall. Jesse's not giving him what he wants, where he goes, we've known them for like 3 years. Do you literally ever look at them and go, I get it? And Jesse's like, yeah. You know, like sometimes they hug or like dance or kiss. And I'm like, I get it. And I'm like, he's looking at it through the Riley rose-colored glasses. He's like,
Yeah.
they're married. It's beautiful. And West is like, yeah, right.
Yeah. No, I was divided between them. I think both reactions to this are valid. You know, Jesse didn't firsthand see the fucking dumbass bitch shit. Wes saw it. He dealt with it. And and people have different lenses of what they think is a horrible, bitter, toxic couple when they see him. Like Jesse says, he goes, I've seen worse married couples. So, like, sorry.
Ooh.
And worse married couples than Kyle
Call
and
the
Amanda.
police.
I've seen worse than Kyle and Amanda. Of what we've seen. I've seen
like
worse
in
too.
your entire life.
Yes, absolutely. I'm saying that Jesse. I don't think Jesse. He's not saying I believe this is true love and they need to stick through this
Right.
for thick and thin or whatever through this forever. But he's just saying I didn't know. I thought that they were cute and I saw moments between them. I was honestly more shocked to hear West how he presented it as
He's
I've
over
never
it.
seen
He's
them
drawn
good.
the line.
Yeah, he's like just like you said with Sierra. He's aligned. Like I have never seen them good. Like. Which is kind of, I mean, it was like what we said, like he came into the house and they've never been good in his opinion since he's seen them. And he says, this is when he references the gift giving. So he's kind of leaving Jesse to be like, whoa, you're shocked. But I'm not. I think that Sierra has the right idea calling for them to be separated. He's like, I'm going to have to talk to him. But then he goes, I think nice gifts are a sign of bad stuff. Remember Wolf of Wall Street? And I was
Did you
like,
yelp?
I go, no. I go, I don't remember that at all. And he goes, what's his name? Jordan Belfort gives a big yacht to Margot Robbie when he did bad stuff. And so that's kind of that's an example of someone using a gift to, say I was bad.
For evil.
I was like, well, Jordan Belfort does a lot of horrible stuff. I can't even remember the one time he did something bad to Margot Robbie. He's kind of a despicable scum human the entire time. And I was wondering if West is just gift giving was never a part of his life. Like in his, you know what I mean? Like you were saying, not a love language, but also
it's not part of Kyle's either, which is how you know it's bad if he's giving her a $10,000 watch, because they had an entire montage of him never giving her a birthday gift for years.
Well, people are bad at giving gifts, but it doesn't mean that they don't agree with the philosophy of gift giving. You know what I mean? Like, I mean, I'll just be honest. I'm a fucking horrible gift giver. But I love them, and I love getting them, and I love giving them if I can. If someone says something offhand, like I want a blacklight poster of Grateful Dead. And I wish I had that in my room, and I'd be like, oh my God, the next time I go to Spencer's Gifts, I'm going to get that for Amy because she said she wants that kind of poster. Like, you know what I mean? I love but I'm not good enough at it to be the best gift giver in my life. But I've never heard of this philosophy. He says gifts are bad at the end. I think he says gifts are bad verbatim.
Cynical. Yeah. I get what he's saying. Like, I think it feels like a trope of like every time he cheats, I get a diamond or whatever that like sort of old timey way of thinking is or whatever, which I don't know how often that's actually occurring, but I think he's just sick of Kyle and he's like, don't give him the win for that.
Yeah, I guess you're right. I was very surprised by this gift giving philosophy. Gifts are bad. I was like, kind of made me clutch my pearls a little bit. I was like, I love gifts. I'm like, that's my third love language, third highest.
By the way, I promise you that West actually does give gifts. I think he means like absolving gifts.
Yeah,
like crime absolving gifts.
Yeah. Oh my God, remember that gift in what's that movie called, Love Actually, where it's like he's like he does the opposite. Remember, he gives Joni Mitchell CDs to his wife, but she had already seen him give the big beautiful Cartier wristwatch to some buy it. Do you remember that?
That's
He
like
does
the
the
only part
opposite.
I remember from that movie.
Me
That's
too.
not really one of my canon movies, but that part hits.
I don't like it at all. It's so
Yeah.
unnecessarily R-rated too. It would be like #1 movie if you were shopping at Spencer's Gifts for someone. It's so much just a normal Christmas movie, but they add curse words and gratuitous sex for no reason. That's never on in my house at Christmas. But it made me think of this. I was just trying to think of, for West, another bad gift giving
Right.
movie.
Yeah.
Love Actually.
I enjoyed the hot take, though. I was like, that's a fun gauntlet to throw down. I enjoy that he was like, that's a fun thought starter for people to discuss. So what do you guys think listening? Do you get what he was saying? Do you think he was being I think he was being a little extra. I don't think he means that across the board, but I think he's saying like that you don't get away with what you've done just because you give a nice gift.
He wasn't with me on Christmas Day when I turned 13 and I got a Nintendo 64, I guess, because that blew my mind. Talk about
He wasn't with me when I asked for a pink Ranger watch and got a red Ranger watch and I ruined Christmas. That's what my mom said. I was like, are you fucking dumb? I was like, pink and red could not be more vastly different. Like, are you dumb? What have you done?
What age was this when you ruined Christmas?
Like 5. It was like 1994.
Oh my God, it's so hard. Maybe all right. Maybe more on West Side of things, because if you get it wrong, you ruin it. You know what I mean? Oh my God. I don't know. I kind of wanted to ask, but I was aghast. I was like, gifts are bad. Not everything is Jordan Belfort giving a yacht to his.
I'm like, somebody
Margaret
just
Josephs.
Watched Wolf of Wall Street.
Yeah. Totally.
He's like, it's giving Wolf of Wall Street. It's like on his laptop. That's what he was actually watching.
Yeah. And but again, like I already said, I love that West has deemed Kyle's behavior bad. He's never really. Well, Carl's going to get this way. We know. I think he's going to get to the
That's
point
when you
where
know it's bad.
That's when you know it's bad, because Carl has said, like, hey, deal with it, bear with him. He's normally saying what Ben is saying. He's like, Loverboy,
Right.
Have you heard about Loverboy? The stock is in the tank or whatever. But finally, West declares it because of his love for Amanda as a friend. He's like, this fucking guy is like Jordan Belfort.
Right. But, I'm glad she got the watch, period. That's something she gets to have for life. It's not going to be good. It's only going to get worse for Kyle, as we've seen. Like, I saw a lot of people hypothesizing when Andy made this warning that they thought that the Kyle and Carl fight was going to be this week. And it's like, no, we have some time left. I mean, I don't know how far away it is. It could be, frankly, next week. I don't know. But I have a feeling it's a little later. So I'm like, it's only going to get worse.
Oh, yeah. Oh my God. Him versus Carl, I already said. Oh my God, you can't do anything. He calls Carl a loser or something. He already called him fragile as a porcelain doll or something. I was like, watch your mouth, Kyle. You're testing the limits of how much grace I can have for you. I'm getting fed up with Kyle.
Pissed.
I'm getting pissed. And like you said, I hope you just do Peter Pan DJ stuff for 3 years so I can just be like, oh, Kyle's kind of doing some fun party stuff. Don't make Amanda miserable anymore. It's over. Your days of making her miserable are over. Thank God.
Well, it's interesting because, I think West is always in good standing with everybody. Like, he's cool with everybody all the time, but he clearly chose Amanda in the divorce. Like, they hang out every day.
Yeah.
Like, every TikTok I see, they're hanging out.
And it means something that Wes chose Amanda. I hope that makes Kyle really think of how Wes processed this as a new person. It's not Carl, who's been with you for 10 seasons. This is somebody new who watched your relationship and said, this is fucking horrible. And I'm so glad that Amanda got out of it. And he was calling Kyle, he's like, he's such a what did he call him? He was already fed up with Kyle 3 or 4 episodes ago on the beach when Kyle was screaming and stuff.
Called him a baby.
Called him he goes, you're a fucking, Kyle is such a fucking baby sometimes. So imagine.
Know that Sierra's probably turned on by this point of view.
Oh, absolutely. They're so aligned, like you said.
Mama-like.
It's giving mama-like over here. Absolutely. And they have Amanda as this common bond of being her best friend and cherishing her. So, Summer House keeps surprising. We don't like when it surprises us like this. We don't want it to be to the detriment of a cast member that we love, but it is definitely yielding some shit that I never in my wildest dreams could have imagined. That Kyle would have his lowest moment in season 10. Who could have imagined?
Best show on Bravo. Say it every week. So let us know what you think. I love this show. I'm going to say it again.
Me too. Me too. I hope we paid it its due. I think we did. We're bordering on an hour and 40 minutes or something, but we love you.
It threads the needle. It gives us we're having actual conversations about upsetting topics, deep topics ranging from race to verbal abuse to marriage and divorce. But then also we're just like, LOL, shots out of a pill bottle, keg stand, spin the bottle.
Yeah. Well, the promise delivered of spending 10 years with the cast, because we have so much ingrained empathy for most of them, and we're dealing with them on every stage of their life so far. So I couldn't love it anymore. I don't know what to say. It's wonderful. You and I, Amy, I think we should shove off the hell out of here. It's been a wild episode. Let's shove off. Let's say very quickly, we have a Patreon available to us. If you just are listening to us for the first time and you've never heard us say that before, there's a place you can go where you could pay for additional episodes from us, a Vanderpump Rules recap, which we just recapped the season 8 finale of Vanderpump Rules, one of the worst episodes of Vanderpump Rules I think I've ever seen in my life. But hopefully there was some fodder.
They told us that our episode about the episode was good. I saw some comments.
Oh, thank God somebody said that. I did not know that. It was a horrible finale of season 8, but we've got a lot more coming up on Vanderpump Rules. And then we also are doing Villa Rosa Film Society on a different tier where we're going to be recapping films. And we're about to do Sex in the City for the month of April.
Which 2008's iconic extension of the blockbuster series.
I'm so excited. I don't want to be let down. I'm just so excited. I'm remembering... Doesn't Carrie, with the flowers, she's bopping them on Mr. Big's head in the streets of Manhattan or something? I'm like, oh my God, I've only seen it once.
I knew you would do this.
Oh my God. And I'm with a Sex in the City expert. I just get to let it wash over me. I'm so excited. So stay tuned for that. And then if you want a free way to support Turtle Time, please, we need you. What the hell? Yes. I say this every week, but we need you. Reviews, comments, YouTube hype.
Wow, we got one 3 days ago. Best Bravo Pod. Thank you.
No way.
Real Lisa K.
No way. Best Bravo Pod, and it's a 5-star, I assume?
Oh, yeah.
Thank you. Did you say Lisa C.K.?
Not Louis C.K., the real Lisa K.
Oh, Lisa K. Oh, my God. Sorry.
What if Louis listens?
Sorry. No, I didn't even mean to utter his name. Sorry, Lisa
Beep.
Lisa K. Thank you, Lisa. Please do more of this. Free ways to support us is wonderful if you can't pay. But I got to say, there's a special tier in heaven for the Villa Rosa VIPs that discuss every week. I love when an episode drops and our Villa Rosa VIPs discuss it and talk about it, and they're so fun and wonderful. So that's a wonderful place to be. We love our Villa Rosa VIPs. But you can support Turtle Time in so many ways, and we're thankful for you all no matter what you do. We love that you listen to us. So thank you so much.
Thank you. Have a good week. Bye.
Bye.